I thought for sure that by this point I would have fallen off the wagon as far as my predictions for every NFL game for the week goes. But alas, here I am. In part because I have to somewhat please the algorithm by staying consistent. And I just can't bring myself to make Dolphin preview videos at this point. If you are here and you're one of my supporters that are here because of the Miami Dolphins, I will be talking about that game in this video. If that's all you're worried about, it will be time-stamped. Every game will be time-stamped. It'll be towards the end of the video because it's the Monday night game. But as far as just a standalone video goes, I would just be repeating everything I said last week, and I can't do that. I can't drop trash just for the sake of dropping trash. I just can't do it. So anyway, let's get started with the Thursday night football this week. Tomorrow, the 1-2 Dallas Cowboys go into MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Giants. Dallas is favored by 5.5. New York coming off of that upset against Cleveland. And Dallas coming off the loss to Baltimore. Who's going to win this one? Look, I'm still on the wagon that New York is underrated. I think this game will be closer than most people think. Kind of. But Dallas, they got to rebound off of that loss to the Ravens. I think Dallas wins this game 31-17. Into Sunday at 1 o'clock, the Minnesota Vikings, who are 3-0, head into Green Bay to take on the Packers. They're 2-1 and favored by 2.5 points. Look, Jordan Love is probably going to be back if I had to guess. But that Houston defense, man, they've been laying the fucking clamps on everybody. So it's really hard for me to pick this game, but I'm going with the upset. I think that Minnesota defense is for real. Give me Minnesota 24-23. Next up, we got Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos headed to New York to take on the New York Jets, actually headed to New Jersey. The Jets are favored by 7.5. Aaron Rodgers fucking carved the New England Patriots yesterday. I mean, he had that knife to their throat and just very slowly dragged it across their throat. I mean, that was vintage Aaron Rodgers. The Denver Broncos laid an ass kicking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Listen, I think Denver definitely covers this spread, but I just can't. I can't pick them. It's just 1 week. I'm not on the Denver or the Bo Nix wave yet. Give me the Jets, 24-21 at home. Next up, the 3-0 Pittsburgh Steelers, led by Justin Fields, heading to Indianapolis, favored by 2 points. Indy's coming off their first win of the season. They got it over Chicago. Pittsburgh last week laid the spanking down on the Los Angeles Chargers. That defense is something serious. And Anthony Richardson, they're not talking about it in the mainstream media. He has struggled this year. And for that reason, give me the Pittsburgh Steelers 20-10. We got the Philadelphia Eagles at 2-1 with Jalen Hurts, the captain of my fantasy football team. He's got to pick it up, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, coming off of getting their asses handed to them by the Denver Broncos. Philly is favored by 2.5 points. And I think that's a very favorable line for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because although they overperformed those first 2 weeks, they had no answers to Denver last week. And Philadelphia is coming off of that big win in New Orleans. Give me Philadelphia 28-17. And Jalen Hurts, could you just throw a couple fucking touchdowns or run a couple in? I need these points, man. All right, moving on. The Los Angeles Rams, 1-2, going to take on the Chicago Bears. LA favored by 2.5 points. Coming off of their win against San Francisco. No Puka Nacua, no Cooper Kupp. And they still get the win against the Niners. Chicago, they have struggled mightily this year. Caleb Williams, you know, I'm not ready to give up on them. No one should be. There's talent there. But right now, they're still working through these kinks. For that reason, give me the Rams 24-14. All right, here we go. I got a lock for you. The Cincinnati Bengals, 0-3. Major desperation for the Bengals, taking on the Carolina Panthers, who are coming off of that big win against the Raiders. Cincinnati favored by 4.5. Look, the reason I'm taking the Bengals in this game is simply because of the desperation. They need this. They cannot fall to 0-4, and I don't think they will. Andy Dalton greatly improves the Carolina Panthers, but there's going to be more film on him this week. And I think Cincinnati, they know how important this is. Give me the Bengals 23-21. All right, next up, we got the New Orleans Saints, fresh off of their first loss of the season against the Eagles, taking on the Atlanta Falcons, who nearly beat the Kansas City Chiefs, but they didn't. And Atlanta is favored by 1.5, which is a little surprising to me, because to me, New Orleans has been the better team so far this season. They did lose to Philadelphia. However, I expect them to get back up in the winning column this week, winning 30-27 against the Falcons. Next up, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's all falling apart in Jacksonville, taking on the Houston Texans, who are at 2-1, favored by 7 points. Jacksonville got absolutely decimated by Buffalo last week. And Houston's coming off that loss to Minnesota. I can't see a world where Houston does not win this football game. Jacksonville is falling apart right now. That offensive play calling is just terrible. The defense is struggling. Give me Houston 30-10. Moving on, we got the New England Patriots at 1-2, going into San Francisco at 1-2. San Francisco is favored by 10 points for good reason. I got this one as a lock. New England's coming off of that tough loss to the Jets. San Francisco, they got to get it together. They're coming off of that loss to the Rams. Listen, I know they have injury problems, but this is a must-win for San Francisco. They're more veteran savvy. They're better coached. They should dominate this game, and I think that they will. Give me the 49ers 42-13. All right, next up, we got the Washington Commanders, fresh off of that big win against Cincinnati, headed into Arizona, who had a close loss to Detroit. Arizona's favored by 3.5. A lot of people are going to be on this Washington wave. I'm not so quick to jump on the wave yet, all right? The NFL world is so quick to make guys superstars and bums. All right, every year, listen, there's like 15 quarterbacks in the NFL right now being hyped as if they're superstars. Newsflash, 15 quarterbacks can't be superstars. Only like 3 or 4 max are going to be actual stars in this league. Therefore, I'm not going to be so quick to give Jaden Daniels the crown yet. I need to see more. Give me Arizona 24-17 at home. Next up, we got the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 3-0 per usual, taking on the Los Angeles Chargers at 2-1. Chiefs favored by 8. Not sure if Herbert's going to play. Not sure if it matters. Derwin James is going to be suspended for this game due to the fact that they're playing the Chiefs. I mean, because of a tough hit. Taylor Swift, you know, she'll probably be there in LA. Give me the Chiefs 27-13. All right, next up, we got the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson headed into Las Vegas. Both teams really need this one. Vegas favored by 1 point, which surprises me because Cleveland, I know they're coming off that loss to the Giants, but Vegas just got fucking destroyed by the Panthers. The Panthers. I didn't think the Panthers were going to win a game this year. Give me Cleveland 20-13. I just think they need it more, and they'll be able to dig deeper. Next up, we got the Buffalo Bills at 3-0, taking on the Baltimore Ravens at 1-2. Ravens favored by 2.5 points via DraftKings. That surprises me. I thought for sure Buffalo would be favored. I look at that as a little bit of a trap line. A lot of people going to be betting on Buffalo. Does DraftKings know something we don't? I don't know. All right, I'm skeptical of that line. Buffalo did beat the Jaguars, kicked their ass. Baltimore handed it to Dallas for a while there. Dallas came back at the end, but Baltimore still prevailed. Just because of the line, give me the Ravens. All right, just because that line tells me they want people to take the Bills money line, and that makes me nervous. Give me the Ravens at home, 21-27 or 31-27. Next up, we got the Tennessee Titans taking on the Miami Dolphins on Monday Night Football. Tennessee favored by a point. Or was it Miami favored by a point? I don't fucking know. Oh, man, the Dolphins. My beloved Dolphins. We stink. I don't know who's playing quarterback for the Dolphins. Is it Skylar Thompson? Is it Tyler Huntley or Snoop Huntley? Is it Tim Boyle? I don't know. Does it fucking matter? Does it matter? Might as well not even have a quarterback. Give me the Titans 13-16. Just because, I mean, at least Will Levis could throw the ball far. They'll at least be good for one touchdown. I'm not confident the Dolphins are going to be able to score. Moving on, the final game of the slate. The Seattle Seahawks at 3-0. Headed into Detroit to take on the Detroit Lions. Detroit favored by 3.5. Seattle just kicked the shit out of my Dolphins. Detroit just beat Arizona. Look, the way I see this game, Seattle played New England and Miami in their first 3 games. 2 freebies. Hate to say it. I think they're vulnerable. I think Seattle can absolutely be beat, and I think Detroit, they're building something there, man. Give me the Detroit Lions, 34-23. That's it for this week. Last week, I went 9-7, coming off of my awful week the week before. 3-2 on upsets, 0-4 on the locks. That's not good. But overall, we're at 24-24 on the year. That isn't great, but I'm confident we're going to be back in the positives after this week. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I'll be at the hospital possibly for the birth of my second son, watching Red Zone. So we'll see what happens as far as that goes. That might be sharing too much personal info. I don't know, you fucking people.